I'm Julie Zenner along with Dennis Anderson, and here's what's coming up on Almanac North.
Well, the University of Minnesota will ask for money to study mining, hoping to answer some of the environmental questions frustrating new mining initiatives.
Lake Superior College's aviation programs will soon have a new home thanks to a partnership with the Duluth Airport.
And dozens of businesses in Superior hope you will shop small this Saturday.
These stories and more coming up next on Almanac North. Hello and welcome to Almanac North. Thanks for watching. This week's show was recorded on Wednesday, so I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving day.
I think we did. We had the family over, and we hope that you had a great one, too.
Well, I'm assuming that it was.
All right.
It's a packed show, so let's get started.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Julie. The University of Minnesota was instrumental in developing the state's taconite industry at a time when the purest ore reserves were dwindling. Now, the university wants to do a major study of mining to answer some of the environmental and health questions facing new mining projects. Here to talk about the proposed research is Rolf Weberg, director of UMD's Natural Resources and Research Institute. Welcome. Good to have you back. What is the university hoping to accomplish with this project, this study?
Well, this initiative is termed the Sustainable Mining Research Initiative. And the primary goal is to provide a balanced, science-based approach to providing information and tools to people that need to make decisions about the mining industry in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that similar to what the Natural Resources Research Institute is already doing with the mining industry?
In some ways, yes. The NRRI engages the mining industry today to help them be successful. But this is a little bit more comprehensive. When you look at what the mining industry, being a $3.2 billion added addition to the Minnesota economy, is looking for is how can they be successful? And when you look at legacy mining we're doing today, mining we may decide to do tomorrow, looking at that from a very comprehensive viewpoint, not only engineering and science, but environment, ecology, economics, all that and health and human safety. The university is in a wonderful position, unique position to help those conversations.
Some of these studies have been going on now for 8 or 9 years. Are you going to add something new that would warrant still further study?
Yes, there's a number of areas within the industry where we feel we can really add some help. Number one is in resource recovery, being more efficient in doing that so we get more of the material out of what we mine, and also doing it at a lower energy expenditure. With the amount of energy used in mining, even reducing it a small amount has a significant impact on the carbon footprint. And aside from that, you've got how to control any off products, any pollution, remediation. All these are technologies that are not iterative anymore. It's about innovation, and innovation requires investment, and that's what the university is asking for.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like this is going to be a real multidisciplinary project, you know, that you're drawing in a lot of university resources, not just up here in the Northland, but from all over to really look at mining comprehensively, right?
Absolutely, and that's why NRI is an integral part of this, because NRI is an applied research facility, and we've got an amazing depth of basic research capability within the university. And the university is in a wonderful position to be the facilitator for bringing some of this innovation to answer the questions, engage all the stakeholders, make sure we're framing the research so that it answers those questions, and then deliver that for ultimately the betterment of Minnesota.
Rolf, some people may ask, is it possible to dig up the earth in mining and still protect the environment?
The answer is we're going to make an impact by living on this earth. There's no question about that. But one of the things we can do is be resilient in our approach in doing so. And what I mean by that is by really understanding the baseline, or the starting point, if you will, and understanding how to manage these things, we can do so. So instead of responding to problems, we already have the tools in place to be able to do that. Will it change the Earth? Yes, it will. There's no getting around that. But doing it responsibly, doing it with a plan, is what we're promoting.
And it sounds like there's some interesting research that's already underway on the sulfate-eating bacteria. Talk about that a little bit and where you see maybe some potential for that, not just for our mining industry, but maybe even beyond.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation to have, because in essence, what NRI researchers have learned to do in tandem with the University of Twin Cities and University of Duluth, it's another multifunctional group, is to harness what happens already in the swamps today, which are these bacteria that take sulfate and turn it into hydrogen sulfide gas. It's the same as we eat our hamburger and we use oxygen and expel CO2. They do the opposite. And we've learned how to do this so that we have demonstrated that you can, on a large scale, reduce sulfate ion and remove it from the water. Now, the next job, and what the team is focusing on, is can we do this so it's viable in an industrial scale? And why this is important, you've heard of a lot of the mining companies working with reverse osmosis, and they've proved that that can take high levels of sulfate down to very low. It's also very expensive. If you can use a low energy intensive, quote unquote, natural process to bring it halfway down, the demand on reverse osmosis is much lower and therefore much more viable. So tandeming approaches is what we're looking at.
I would think mining companies would want, in this day and age, would want to mine responsibly. They're probably different companies from what they were 80, 90, 100 years ago. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. The old equation for business success used to be, if it's there and I can get it, I can make money. That's no longer true for no matter what industry you happen to be in. There's something called the opportunity and the ability. The social license equals business success. That social license is really the public's trust in being able to do that safely. That's where the university is, and NRI is in a wonderful position to help design that social license, define it, and the industry really understands that that social license is absolutely necessary, because without that in today's day and age, you don't have a business.
What do you think the chances are of getting the funding from the legislature?
I can't predict that right now, of course. I think it's fairly good. We've had some very good discussions with our colleagues in the mining industry and the environmental groups. We're seeing general support for this approach. I think people want to see a comprehensive engagement of the university in a positive fashion, and what I mean by that is it's solution-based research.
Sure. Rolf Weberg, NRRI. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've got some Lake Superior College's growing aviation programs will soon have a new place to call home. LSC inked a 10-year lease with the Duluth Airport Authority this week to use Hangar 103 to house its programs. The 40,000 square foot building will be used for pilot training, aviation management, and the college's new aviation maintenance technician program. And here to tell us more is Bob Wolfe, LSC's maintenance program instructor. And Mike Lundstrom is chair of the Northern Aero Alliance, which works to further aviation interests in the region. And thanks to both of you for being here. Really appreciate you coming in. Bob, why is this move good news both for Lake Superior College and for the students that you work with?
It's actually going to combine 3 programs you currently have in the program: the professional pilot program, the aviation management program, and the Aviation Maintenance Technician program. Combine them all three into the facility that we'll hopefully be moving into here shortly with the lease that's been signed. The FAA is currently has the A&P program at the main campus at LSC, and once we are approved to move into the new facility because of the restrictions there, we'll all be combined under one roof. It'd be good for the entire program.
Mike, tell us a little bit about what the aviation industry has done for the Twin Ports area. It's a big industry here now.
Yeah, it is a big industry, and it has grown dramatically over the last couple of years. So the economic impact is somewhere around $1.5 billion in jobs and the jobs that support aviation as well. So it runs many circuits, from the airport to service to the manufacturing side of it to service side with like Monaco Air and so forth. So it's very, very multifaceted.
Now, would you see opportunities with the relocation of Lake Superior College's programs up to the airport for those students to actually engage and work with the aviation-related companies and industries that are already in place there?
Yeah, that's the intent, and I think that's the beauty of the partnership, because it does put the end user working hand in hand with the educational process. So it's a win-win for all parties concerned.
So Bob, you mentioned there all three of the segments of the college will be under one roof now. Can you talk a little bit about the A&P, that's aircraft and power plant?
Correct.
Maintenance. What is that? Are those mechanics for airplanes?
They are mechanics for aircraft, correct.
And is there a job, is there a market here for that skill?
Definitely. We currently have Cirrus been here in the local area for quite some time, and AAR's moved into the area. And the mechanics that are needed to support those businesses quite great.
So the first cohort for the Air Maintenance Technician program that you're involved with sounds like it filled pretty quickly. Great demand. Do you see opportunities to maybe expand things, grow it a little bit more?
Yes, definitely. We received 25 students into the program initially. It didn't take very long to fill the seats, and we have another cohort beginning here in January, and we'll be accepting another 25 students, and enrollment's just started on that.
The interesting thing about the AP program, because places like AAR, for example, they hired a number of Northwest Airline employees in the maintenance facility. But the average age is such that there's going to be attrition coming through. So it's not just the expansion, which is dramatic, but it's also the turnover due to retirement.
I believe you mentioned also pilot training. Talk to us a little bit about pilot training here in Duluth.
The pilot, I'm not in the pilot training program itself. I'm a maintainer itself. The pilot training program is essential because the aircraft obviously need pilots in the programs themselves. And just as it was mentioned here also, the age that the pilots are currently at, the attrition that they're having in the industry is huge, and they need new pilots to support the aviation industry.
Have the aviation companies in the region really been working closely with Lake Superior College to develop the content of the programs as LSC has expanded its aviation program, so that there's some synergy between the jobs that they anticipate and the skills that your students are coming out with?
Right. They've come to LSC, and they've expressed interest in working with us, a lot. But we are restricted with the FAA. They have certain guidelines that we have to actually teach to. So we have to meet the FAA guidelines for the program itself to give the permission to test for their exam and meet those specifically. But we are working directly with the industry partners.
Potential students may be watching this program tonight. Can you talk a little bit about length of time for training under these programs?
Sure. There's 2,080 hours total that a student has to have in the program. There's general, there's airframe, and then the power plant. And they will, once they complete all 2,080 hours, which is 18 months, they will receive permission to test for the federal exam.
To your knowledge, will there be jobs here awaiting them once they complete the program?
It's important for people that are interested, either the young people, unemployed or underemployed, to know that through this program, it's a ticket to your future, to a well-paying job, and it's waiting for you. The cohorts that are going through now will scratch the surface. But there's going to be greater need even going forward. So it'll directly result in a career that you can raise a family with and live here for a long time.
We certainly talk about the aviation cluster that has developed here and referred to the Twin Ports now as as an aviation hub. Is that perception true with others in the aviation industry outside this region? Are other areas looking to Duluth as a hub, or is that just kind of, you know, what we like to think locally?
It's all of the above. You know, we'd like to think we're a Kansas City hub, but we're not. Yeah. But on the other hand, we are gaining a lot of reputation nationally, especially when you consider that we have two major manufacturers between Cirrus and Kestrel in the region. And then, of course, from there, there's a support system of companies, and we are hoping and looking to expand companies that will be coming into the area as a support. But the reputation is developing.
This industry isn't all in Kansas anymore.
It is not total, right?
And when do you anticipate actually moving into the new space?
Once we're approved to move into the space, August would be the first cohort moving in.
Is there a lot of work that still needs to be done to the hangar to make it ready for the program?
The hangar is actually functional. They're going to be actually remodeling it. The Duluth Airport Authority and the City of Duluth have given $2.2 million for the renovation. It is 40,000 square feet. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done.
You're on the way.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing some information about it. Good luck as you move forward. It sounds exciting.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you both. Well, the big box stores have mastered their Black Friday sales pitch to bring thousands of eager customers through their doors, filling holiday wish lists. Now, in recent years, local small businesses have fought back with their own to pitch to customers, and this year, dozens of Superior stores are joining in Small Business Saturday. And leading the call to shop small is Brittany Berrens, Director of Marketing at the Superior Douglas County Chamber, and Ryan Yingling is the Sales and Marketing Manager at Screen Graphics, one of the participating businesses in Superior. Thanks to both of you for being here. Brittany, Superior seems to be really embracing shop small.
You're making it sound like an epic battle,
well,
Danny.
it's exciting for you people, I'm sure.
It's really exciting.
You seem to be embracing this even stronger than in the past.
Yeah. Well, the Chamber and the Business Improvement District have teamed up in the past to do some shop local type campaigns, but the response this year is incredible. We've had, I think we're up to 40 businesses now that are offering different deals or demos. Some places will have free samples, that kind of thing. Yep. So I was excited to have the first 10 on board, and then it just grew. So people are just really, there's a good energy behind it.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, do you think that holiday shoppers are starting to recognize and support that whole idea of Small Business Saturday?
I think so. I think it's becoming very, very popular, and especially in our area, we've noticed in the last couple of years, it's just before we've had this big deal with the chamber and the bid, that we always supported and we always promoted the Small Business Saturday, and people would come in and shop and be looking for those deals. And I think people are, not that they're getting upset at the shopping at the big box stores on Thanksgiving night, but they're looking for to shop local more and find deals with people that they go to school with and they work with. And
a question for both of you: how difficult is it to compete with big box stores?
It's difficult because of the, obviously they have the tools, the marketing behind them. But one thing that we have as a small business, I think, is our customer service and we really people can come in for us. People can come in, they can shop and we can show them, we can have them try stuff on, and if they find something they don't like, we do screen printing and embroidery in-house. So we're able to, we can do designs for them if they want to do it like that. So it's something different that they can't get with the big box stores.
A little more personal touch,
A
maybe.
little personal touch, yeah.
Yeah.
How much has internet shopping impacted small businesses, both negatively and perhaps positively, because they can draw in customers as well as lose customers from it?
I think kind of what you were speaking to, having that in-store experience is all the more helpful. Sometimes when you're shopping online, you don't exactly know what you're getting. I've gone shopping locally for things that I could buy online, but knowing that some people might have the expertise behind the products, that you can talk to them, it's worth the extra price you might pay to shop locally as opposed to online. But even stores can have online retail as well, which helps them break into maybe some national or regional markets.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're trying to attract the crowd to a small store shopping this Saturday? In other words, are you offering specials and things of this nature, giveaways, things of that?
Yeah, so that list of 40 businesses, each business is doing their own sort of thing. You're doing some % off in your store.
Yeah, we're actually continuing our Black Friday specials into Saturday. So it's limited obviously to stock in hand, but if you're not able to get out on Black Friday, you can come in Saturday and get the same kind of specials that we're offering. So we're offering anywhere from 25 to 90% off some of our Smart Shop items.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of people are doing specials like that, but others are doing, cookies and coffee for shoppers, or they're doing their own sort of gift basket giveaways. But one aspect to what the Chamber and the BID is doing is that for every $10 people spend at these participating businesses, they'll get a little ticket entry. And we're doing a big Small Business Saturday prize package. We've got tons of prizes from local businesses. So that's just a little incentive to go in and spend some money with these stores that are participating.
Well, all the best this weekend.
Yeah, it's
Brittany,
really fun.
Ryan, thank you so very much.
Thank
We
you.
also will have the website up so people can see.
Yep, that whole list is up.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Here's a look at some of the week's business stories from Business North. With the launch of several new workforce development initiatives, Wisconsin is positioned well to continue reducing joblessness. That, according to Reggie Newsom, Wisconsin's Secretary of the Department of Workforce Development. Newsom said northern Wisconsin is doing the right things to bridge the skills gap. His agency is working with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, area chambers of commerce, K-12 school systems, and the University of Wisconsin to ensure young people learn about job opportunities earlier in life.
Elite Clean Energy has finalized a major wind power development agreement with Montana Dakota Utilities. The Duluth-based division of Elite announced Monday it will develop a wind farm 100 miles southwest of Bismarck. It will build 43 turbines to generate 107 megawatts of electricity and then sell the project to Montana Dakota for approximately $200 million. Through its Minnesota Power division, Elite has been active in wind power, developing nearly 500 megawatts of capacity in North Dakota since 2010.
General Waste of Keewatin announced a major expansion with the opening of its new industrial-lined landfill. The 2.5-acre site has received Minnesota Pollution Control Agency permits, and more than 31 acres are available for future development. Overall, the facility has sufficient capacity to last 25 to 30 years. The company expects to hire operators, truck drivers, and office staff during the next year to serve the larger facility. For more on these and other stories, visit businessnorth.com.
If you have a comment on our show, give us a call. Dial 218-788-2849 to leave a message or send an email to almanacnorth@wdse.org. You can also go to the WDSE website for program updates, news at the station, and to find out about public TV events here in the community. And a quick program note before we go, Almanac North will not be seen next week due to WDSE's December membership drive. So Denny will be back for our next show on Friday, December 12th. And you can pledge early and pledge often.
I love the pledge often part. All right, thank
That's
you.
right. For Denny and the crew here at Almanac North, I'm Julie Zenner. Have a happy holiday weekend, everyone. And we'll see you after Pledge Drive.